Today we are looking at my favorite book in the entire Bible. When I was a kid, I would often have nightmares or have trouble sleeping. And whenever this happened, I would get out my flashlight, grab my Bible, scroll to this book, and read it until I fell asleep. It's a story of a young orphan raised by her older cousin. And then she was taken from her home, forced to marry the king, and then things just got even crazier. But through it all, God was always at work. Even when things are unpredictable, we can know that God is working in all things for the good of those who love Him. Enjoy this game, and then we are going to find out how God works things out in this portion of the Big God story.
Stay tuned for more details coming this week on The Sweet Life, an epic candy factory adventure for you and your family to do together at home online, with some escape room puzzle challenges, a fun time in God's Word, and even a gummy bear recipe that you can make your own gummy bears at home. So keep an eye out for more details coming to your parents' email address, on our Facebook page, and in person at Victory Kids.
Before we get into today's portion of the Big God story, let me introduce you to 4 of the characters. We have the beautiful Queen Esther, Esther's wise older cousin, Mordecai, ruler of Persia, King Xerxes, and of course, his advisor, Haman. Let's get started. Today in the Big God story, an evil villain tries to destroy God's people. Little does he know, God is always at work. It all began when the king of Persia decided he needed a new queen, for his old queen had been sent out after she made him very angry. To find the new queen, King Xerxes held a search, a contest, and many beautiful women from all across the Persian Empire were brought into the palace, including a woman named Esther. Esther was an Israelite, a Jew, one of God's people, but nobody knew this. When it came time for Esther to go to the king liked Esther more than any other woman. Esther, I want you to be my queen. Okay, King Xerxes, I will marry you. Meanwhile, all was not well in the kingdom. What? Esther! Esther! What is it, cousin? Esther, you are my beloved cousin. 2 men who are the king's officers want to kill your husband, the king. You should tell him. I will tell him. Away with them forever! Even though Mordecai had uncovered the plot to kill King Xerxes, the king did nothing to thank Mordecai. Still, Mordecai knew that God is always at work. After these events, King Xerxes honored Haman, elevating him and giving him a seat of honor higher than that of all the other nobles. All of the royal officials at the king's gate knelt down and paid honor to Haman, for this is what the king had commanded. But Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor. Mordecai, why won't you bow down to me? I am a Jew. I obey God's laws. Do you remember back with Moses when God had given the people the 10 commandments? The first command God gave the Jews is to have no other gods. Jewish people who serve only God only bow and worship to the one true God. This made Haman pretty upset. Mordecai, because you will not bow down to me, I will look for a way to destroy all of your people, the Jews, throughout the whole kingdom. So Haman went to talk to King Xerxes. Hey, King Xerxes? Yes, Haman? There's a certain people dispersed among all the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom who keep themselves separate. Their customs are different from those of all the other people, and they do not obey the king's laws. It is not in the king's best interest to tolerate them. If it pleases the king, let a decree be issued to destroy them, and I will give 10,000 talents of silver to the king's administrators for the royal treasury. Keep your money and do what you want with these people. Mordecai heard about Haman's plot to kill all of the Jews, so he sent a message to Esther. Esther! Esther! Haman has convinced the king to sign a decree to destroy the Jews. Please, Esther, go to him and beg for mercy for your people. But Mordecai, anyone who tries to see the king without an invitation gets put to death. They only will live if the king extends his gold scepter to them, and it has been 30 days since I was called to go see the king. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you will escape. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Gather all the Jews in the kingdom, pray and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. After that, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. So after 3 days, Esther went to King Xerxes' palace. When the king saw Esther, he was pleased, and he extended his gold scepter to her. Esther, my queen, what is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you. If it pleases the king, let the king, together with Haman, come to a banquet today that I have prepared for him. At dinner that night, Queen Esther decided not to tell the king about the Jews being in danger just yet. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a second special dinner the next day. I get to go to a second dinner with just the king and queen. Now, if I could just get rid of Mordecai and his kind, I'd be even more happy. That night, King Xerxes was unable to sleep. So he read a book of records and remembered how Mordecai had saved his life. And he decided that he wanted to do something special to honor Mordecai. Just then, Haman came in to see the king. He wanted to get permission to kill Mordecai. That is not quite what happened. Hey, Haman, what should I do to honor someone special? Hold a parade for him. Let him wear your robe, ride your horse, so everyone can see just how important he is. Great idea! Go on and lead a parade for Mordecai. After leading a parade for Mordecai, Haman was pretty upset. However, he still had dinner that night with the king and queen for the second banquet. The king asked Esther about her request again. Queen Esther, what is your petition? It will be given to you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted. If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request. For I and my people are going to be destroyed. What? Who ordered this? Where is he, the man who dared to do such a thing? It is Haman. Take Haman away! Put him to death for what he has tried to do to my queen and her people." And just like that, Haman lost and God's people won. But God's people were not safe just yet. Like with the story of Daniel in the lion's den, the king could not stop a law once it was made. But God is always at work. God gave Mordecai a way to rescue his people. "Send this message from the king to all the Jews in the kingdom. On the day you are to be attacked, meet together and fight back. You have royal permission to fight anyone who fights against you." And just like that, God's people, the Jews, fought back and won. On the day they were all to be killed, they won a great victory. And then they had a great feast. Even today, the Jewish people celebrate the signing of King Xerxes' order as a holiday called Purim. On Purim, they remember that God is always at work.
Many people will be delivered. Many people will be healed because of this tabernacle.
Will you partner with us to build a church in Africa, in a community where there are no churches? For $7,500, as we work together, we can do it. We can provide a place of hope, a place to hear about the love of Jesus, and a place where people in that area can go if they need help. To give, simply text BGMC and the amount you want to give to 863-250-2270, or go to victorylakland.org/give and designate BGMC. And let's build a church together.
We're the Victory Kids.
Yeah, we're growing in Jesus. Read the word every day, cause we need it. Making friends one kid at a time, even the ones in the back of the line.
We're the Victory Kids.
Serving others with our gifts and talents. Put others first, yeah, that's the challenge. Reaching the world, we're making disciples. It starts right here.
We're the Victory Kids.